Atlantic City, New Jersey. Boardwalk Convention Center, October 19th, 1993. Friday night, 7:15 in the evening. The dressing room underneath the main arena is cramped, humid, smelling of liniment and old sweat. This is where fighters prepare before they step into the lights, before they face crowds of thousands, before they risk everything for glory or money or survival. Tommy Morrison sits on a metal folding chair in the corner of this concrete room. He is 24 years old, 6 feet 2 inches tall, 230 pounds of raw power wrapped in tattooed skin, and confidence that borders on arrogance. His blonde hair is cut short, military style. His hands are already wrapped, white tape covering knuckles that have broken jaws and ended careers. He is supposed to fight in 90 minutes. The opponent is a journeyman, a setup, an easy win designed to keep Morrison's momentum building toward a title shot. This should be routine. This should be simple. But nothing about tonight feels simple. Across from Morrison, standing near the door with his arms crossed, is a man in an expensive gray suit. His name is Vincent. No last name offered, no business card, no official reason to be in this dressing room, but everyone knows who he is. Everyone understands what his presence means. Vincent works for people whose names appear in federal indictments, people whose business involves concrete and garbage collection, and labor unions, and occasionally, boxing. The Gambino family has had their hands in boxing for decades. Fixing fights, controlling outcomes, making sure money flows in the right direction. Vincent is here to deliver a message, and he delivered it 10 minutes ago, standing in this same spot, speaking in a voice so calm it made the words even more terrifying. "Tommy," Vincent had said, his tone conversational, almost friendly. "You are a talented kid, real potential. People are watching you. People are investing in you. But tonight, you need to understand something. This fight is not about winning. It is about how you win. You go the distance. You make it look competitive. You win on points, maybe a late stoppage if it feels natural. But you do not knock him out early. You do not embarrass him. You give the people a show. You understand?" Morrison had stared at him, his jaw tight, his hands clenched. He understood. He understood exactly what was being asked. Throw the fight. Not lose, but control it. Make it entertaining. Make it last. Give the gamblers time to place their bets. Give the bookies time to adjust their lines. Turn a legitimate sporting event into theater, into manipulation. Morrison had said nothing. He just stared. And Vincent had smiled, a thin, cold smile that did not reach his eyes. "Good," Vincent had said. "I am glad we understand each other. Because accidents happen, Tommy. In this sport, accidents happen all the time. Fighters get hurt in training. They slip in the shower. They get in car crashes on the way to the arena. Terrible things. Unpredictable things. You are a smart kid. I know you will make the smart choice tonight." Then Vincent had walked to the door, paused, looked back. 90 minutes, Tommy. Think about it. Think about your future. Think about whether you want a long career or a short one. Now Vincent is still here, leaning against the wall, watching Morrison with eyes that have seen men broken, careers destroyed, lives ended. He is not threatening. He is not aggressive. He is just present. A reminder. A shadow that will not leave until the fight is over, and the desired outcome has been delivered. Morrison's trainer, a 60-year-old man named Eddie, who has been in boxing since before Morrison was born, sits on a bench against the opposite wall. Eddie knows what is happening. Eddie has seen this before. Eddie worked corners in the 70s and 80s when mob influence in boxing was so blatant that fighters openly discussed taking dives when championship belts were bought and sold like commodities. Eddie's face is gray, exhausted. He will not look at Morrison. He will not look at Vincent. He just stares at the floor, waiting for this night to be over. The room is silent except for the distant sound of the crowd above. Thousands of people taking their seats, buying beer and popcorn, expecting a real fight, expecting authentic competition. They have no idea what is being negotiated in this concrete room beneath their feet. They have no idea that the fight they paid to see might be choreographed, controlled, manipulated by men who see boxing not as sport, but as business. Morrison stands up. His movement is sudden, sharp. Vincent's eyes track him immediately. Morrison walks 3 steps forward, stops, looks directly at Vincent. His voice, when he speaks, is low, steady, dangerous. "I am not doing it." The words hang in the air. Vincent's expression does not change. He does not move. He just watches Morrison the way a snake watches a mouse. "You are making a mistake, Tommy." Morrison shakes his head. "I do not care. I did not train for 6 weeks to throw a fight. I did not spend 10 years learning how to fight, so I could pretend in front of thousands of people. You want to threaten me? Go ahead. You want to hurt me? Try. But I am walking into that ring in 90 minutes, and I am fighting the way I know how to fight. I am going to knock him out as fast as I can. And if you have a problem with that, we can settle it right here, right now." Eddie's head snaps up. His face is pale. "Tommy, do not." But Morrison is not listening. He is staring at Vincent, and something has shifted in the room. This is no longer a negotiation. This is a confrontation. Morrison has called the bluff, challenged the threat, refused to bend. And now everyone in the room is waiting to see what happens next. Vincent straightens up slowly. He adjusts his suit jacket, smooths his tie. His face is expressionless. "Tommy," he says quietly, "you are young. You think courage is enough. You think being tough matters. But this world does not care how tough you are. This world eats tough guys for breakfast. You think you are the first fighter to stand up to us? You think you are special?" Morrison does not respond. He just stares. Vincent takes 1 step forward. His voice drops even lower. "You have family, Tommy. A mother in Kansas. A little brother who looks up to you. A girlfriend who thinks you are going to be champion. Think about them. Think about what happens when you make powerful people angry. Think about whether your pride is worth their safety." The threat is explicit now. Not veiled, not subtle. Family, loved ones. The implication is clear. Morrison's hands are shaking, not with fear, with rage. His entire body is coiled, ready to explode. Eddie stands up, moves between them. "Tommy, please, think about this." But Morrison is not thinking. He is reacting. He is a fighter, and fighters do not back down. He steps around Eddie, gets within 2 feet of Vincent. "You touch my family," he says, his voice a whisper that somehow feels louder than a shout, "and I will kill you. I do not care who you work for. I do not care what happens to me. You threaten my family again, and I will end you." Vincent's eyes widen slightly, just slightly. For the first time, there is a flicker of something in his expression. Not fear, respect maybe, recognition. He is seeing something in Morrison that he did not expect. He is seeing a man who genuinely does not care about consequences, who will burn everything down if pushed too far. Vincent takes a step back. He looks at Morrison for a long moment. Then he nods. Once. "Okay, Tommy. Okay. You want to fight your way? Fight your way. But remember this conversation. Remember that I gave you a choice. Remember that what happens next is on you. Vincent walks to the door, opens it, pauses. 90 minutes, he says. Then he is gone. The door closes. The room is silent. Eddie sinks back onto the bench, puts his head in his hands. Jesus, Tommy. What did you just do? Morrison does not answer. He sits back down on the metal chair. His hands are still shaking. His heart is pounding. He just threatened a made man, someone connected to one of the most dangerous crime families in America. He just gambled his career, his safety, maybe his life on principle, on pride, on the belief that some things matter more than survival. 90 minutes until the fight. 90 minutes to wonder if Vincent was bluffing or serious. 90 minutes to wait for the consequences. The next hour passes in silence. Eddie tries to talk strategy, tries to prepare Morrison for the fight, but his heart is not in it. Morrison does not speak. He just sits, breathing, visualizing, preparing. Not for the opponent in the ring, for whatever might be waiting. At 8:30, a knock on the door. An arena official. Mr. Morrison, you are up in 15 minutes. Time to walk. Morrison stands. Eddie wraps his arms around him, a brief, fierce hug. Be careful out there, kid. Watch for anything unusual. Vincent's people could be anywhere. Morrison nods. He puts on his robe, red and white, his name stitched across the back. He walks out of the dressing room, down the concrete corridor, toward the tunnel that leads to the arena. The sound of the crowd grows louder with each step. Thousands of voices, music, announcements. The atmosphere of a major boxing event. Morrison reaches the tunnel entrance. He can see the ring ahead, bathed in light, surrounded by darkness. He can see his opponent already in the ring, bouncing, warming up. He can see the referee, the judges, the commentators. Everything looks normal. Everything looks legitimate. And then Morrison sees him. Vincent, standing ringside, third row, center, watching. His face is calm. His hands are in his pockets. He is just watching. Morrison's music starts. The crowd erupts. He walks down the aisle, climbs the steps, enters the ring. The referee calls both fighters to the center, gives instructions, sends them back to their corners. Morrison stares across the ring at his opponent, a fighter named Jackson, a tough guy from Philadelphia with a record of 22 wins, 8 losses. A real fighter, not a great fighter, but real. The bell rings. Morrison comes out fast, aggressive. He throws a jab, a right cross, a left hook. Jackson covers up, moves, circles. Morrison presses forward. He is fighting with fury, with intensity that has nothing to do with Jackson and everything to do with Vincent watching from ringside. Every punch is a statement. Every combination is defiance. 30 seconds into the fight, Morrison lands a right hand that drops Jackson to one knee. The crowd roars. Jackson gets up at the count of 7. The referee checks him, waves them back together. Morrison moves in immediately. Another combination, another right hand. Jackson stumbles backward into the ropes. Morrison unloads. 8, 9, 10 punches. The referee jumps in, stops the fight. 48 seconds. First round knockout. Morrison raises his arms. The crowd is screaming. Eddie rushes into the ring, grabs Morrison, lifts him off the ground. The announcers are shouting. Devastating performance. Incredible power. Tommy Morrison is for real. Morrison looks at ringside. Vincent is gone. His seat is empty. Morrison leaves the ring, walks back down the tunnel, back to the dressing room. Eddie is ecstatic, talking about momentum, about title shots, about future. But Morrison is not listening. He is waiting, waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for Vincent's revenge. 2 hours later, Morrison is in his hotel room, alone. The phone rings. He picks it up, cautious. Hello? A voice he does not recognize. Mr. Morrison, Mr. Gambino asked me to call you. He wants you to know that he respects what you did tonight. He respects men who keep their word, who fight with honor. He says you have a future in this sport, a real future, and his people will not stand in your way. Silence. Morrison tries to process this. Vincent's boss, the actual Gambino family leadership, is giving him a pass. They respected his defiance. They respected that he fought his way despite the threats. The voice continues. But Mr. Gambino also wants you to know that you used up your one chance tonight. Next time we ask for something, you do not say no. Next time, there are no warnings. You understand? Morrison understands. He won this battle. But the war is permanent. He will always be watched. Always be tested. Always be one decision away from consequences he cannot imagine. The voice hangs up. Morrison sits on the edge of the hotel bed, hands still wrapped in tape from the fight, and realizes that his 48-second knockout just changed everything. He bet his life on principle, and somehow, inexplicably, he won. But Vincent was right about one thing. Accidents happen. And Tommy Morrison just learned that in boxing, the most dangerous fights happen before you ever step into the ring.